Coming up, UW-Oshkosh supports United Council. Father Carr looks for holiday help, and we've got Goo Goo Doll highlights. Titan TV News is next.
Live from the Titan TV Center at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. BJ Lutz, Jeff Levica, Lori Kowaleski with sports, and Patrick Moore with weather. This is Titan TV News.
All the weeks of preparation, promotion, and anticipation finally paid off. Good afternoon, I'm Jeff Levica.
And I'm BJ Lutz. The Goo Goo Dolls and Buffalo Tom Rock Call Sports Center on Wednesday, and Titan TV was allowed access long enough to bring you these highlights.
If you were within range of Call Sports Center Wednesday night, you may have thought an air raid or locomotive crash had occurred, but it was none other than the long-awaited arrival of the Goo Goo Dolls. Fans ranging from children to young adults jammed to Buffalo Tom before the dolls took the stage. The floor turned into a mass of jumping heads and flailing appendages as the dolls took to the stage and delivered what fans had come for. So was it a success?
That was a fantastic show. We had a great crowd. Everybody was in a wonderful mood. It was a good, fun, not too nasty mosh pit. It was a blast.
Oh, it was an extreme success. It was more work than I had ever thought it would be, but I think it was a real success. I think the crowd really enjoyed it. They put on a really good show, and I think that's going to push us towards doing another one in the future.
Deb Nelson, Titan TV News.
Wisconsin has signed on to the $206 billion tobacco settlement, but anti-smoking groups say that doesn't mean the problems are over. David Ahrens, head of the Tobacco-Free Wisconsin Coalition, is disturbed about a new report showing smoking among college students has increased dramatically in the last 5 years. It's up 28%, and Ahrens says it means cigarette makers are targeting college students in their advertising campaigns. He hopes money from the state's tobacco settlement will be used for an advertising campaign urging young people not to smoke.
UW-Oshkosh students have voted on a referendum to continue their support and affiliation with the United Council of UW students for the next 2 years. 305 students voted in favor of the referendum and 45 opposed it. United Council was established in 1960 and is Wisconsin's only statewide student advocacy and research organization. It has been beneficial to students seeking credit transfers. It's increased access to professor evaluations and gained a 20% increase in the Wisconsin Higher Education Grant. While the United States Supreme Court will soon make a decision on a lawsuit that affects every UW student.
The case is called Southworth versus Grebe, and it concerns the funding of some student organizations. Titan TV's Michael Eaton gives us an explanation.
Making its way through the judicial system is a lawsuit that could affect the status of many student organizations. I sat down with OSA President Maggie Brown and spoke with her about the case known as Southworth versus Grebe. What is the Southworth versus Grebe lawsuit about?
The Southworth versus Grebe case is a lawsuit that was filed by 3 UW-Madison law students that challenged the way that student fees were distributed on their campus. It was their assertion that their student fees were going to fund political and ideological organizations that they didn't support, and that violated their First Amendment rights.
What are the implications of this lawsuit on the UW-Oshkosh campus?
There would be implications for UW-Oshkosh and pretty much for the entire nation that would seriously limit free speech and free exchange of ideas on our campuses. In addition, a lot of student organizations would be negatively affected because they would pretty much lose their funding. What's probably going to happen is you would need to opt into paying for student organizations, which means you would have to opt into paying an additional $60 on your tuition. And with the price of education increasing, not many students are going to be like, sure, $60 to support, the Women's Resource Center or the Asian Student Association or the Black Student Union. Those organizations are going to probably see their funding eliminated, and that's going to completely eliminate the diverse views that are brought to this campus.
The Southworth versus Greeby lawsuit has been appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court by the UW Board of Regents. While the issue is waiting to be considered by the highest court in the land, what is OSA doing to prepare for the outcome of this case?
What we would do would be form a process at the beginning of the year in coordination with the recognition process for student organizations, where organizations would be deemed by the OSA Senate as either being political and ideological in nature or not. From there, then students, if an organization was political and ideological in nature, students could opt out of paying for that student organization, like the 12 cents or 50 cents or whatever it be, at the beginning of the year before paying their tuition.
If the Southworth versus Greeby case does go through, many rooms like this will become empty where student organizations once met, because many of these organizations will be in jeopardy of losing their funding. Michael Eaton, Titan TV News.
We'll be right back with more news, weather, and sports. Stay with us. Prepare to shell out a few cents more this year's Thanksgiving dinner. Wisconsin residents will pay an average of $30.46 for enough turkey and fixings to feed a party of 8. The Wisconsin Farm Bureau Federation says that's a $50 more than last year. The hike can be blamed primarily on higher milk, dinner rolls, and pumpkin pie prices. The cost of a 16-pound turkey is up just 4 cents. Turkey Day is right around the corner.
That's right, and the word Thanksgiving suggests a time for giving thanks, but there are some who are less fortunate than others. Titan TV News reporter Jamie Buxman explains where those in need can go for a free meal for the holiday.
It may not look like much now, but Father Carr's Place to Be at its new location will be ready to serve many unfortunate residents of Oshkosh this Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm sure we'll do over 1,000 meals on Thanksgiving with probably about 600 out to the homes. So if someone wants to bake a turkey or a pie or bring a salad in on Thanksgiving Day, we would certainly love and appreciate it. Or if someone has time to volunteer, we look for drivers on Thanksgiving morning from 11:30 to about 1 to deliver meals to the homebound. So it's really a community effort.
This year marks the 25th anniversary of this community service, and according to Father Carr, the dinner originated on a smaller scale in 1974 and has grown into a larger effort involving more people from the community.
It's our biggest day of volunteers. It's just impossible. There are hundreds and hundreds, not only on the day itself, but many volunteers who are preparing things at home. Right now, those are working to finish construction so the new kitchen's ready and operative. But lots and lots of people from all over. Scout troops have made little placemats for the tables, and so many people have come together to really make it a beautiful Thanksgiving. And it goes all the way back to Jesus and saying thanks and celebrating life.
Father Carr also stresses that holidays aren't the only time help is needed. Volunteers are wanted year-round to keep up with the demands of the center.
We don't have to do all of it on Thanksgiving Day. We're here every day, so maybe not volunteering on Thanksgiving, but maybe volunteering 2 weeks from now on a Wednesday night when we need someone too. So think about it as a lifestyle instead of just a happening.
So if you know someone that's less fortunate or homebound, give Father Carr a call so they can enjoy a warm Thanksgiving meal also. Jamie Buxman, Titan TV News.
And Jamie joins us now with some more information. Jamie, are there any opportunities if someone would like to help out?
Yes. The center is looking for anyone who would be willing to drive and deliver meals on Thursday between 11:30 and 1:30.
And where should those go that are interested to find out more information?
Well, the best bet would be is to contact Father Carr's Place to Be at 231-2378.
Jamie Buxman, thank you very much. Well, for most people, the holidays mean heavy eating, but with just a little effort, you can beat those holiday pounds and maintain your figure through New Year's. Kristen Krause explains how.
As the holidays approach, overeating is becoming more of a concern for many students. Many do not know how to eat healthy or exercise in the winter, so they find themselves gaining weight.
Nurse practitioner Janice Schrader tells us one way to stay healthy over the holidays.
Oh, staying healthy over the holidays. Well, I would say there's probably a couple of different things people should be aware of. One would be watching what you're drinking, especially the use of alcohol. My rule is always do things in moderation, whether it be food or drink. And the other part of that, the food part, is a little bit more difficult to do.
I'm not too much of a healthy person, but I guess I try. A little overweight, but you know.
Students who feel they are overweight or those who want to work off the extra pounds from overeating during the holidays should obtain a fitness center membership on campus. Jay Schultz explains how to get the membership.
I just come down, all I gotta do is fill out a couple forms, and you can work out the same day that you set up. We just have 2 forms you gotta fill out, and you just get billed to your student account, and it's as easy as that.
In the fitness center, you can do a variety of things, including lifting weights and numerous aerobic activities. For more information, call 424-1245. Kristen Krause, Titan TV News.
Last week, Titan TV News told you about some of the events taking place as part of Native American Heritage Month. On Wednesday, a meeting was held to discuss the Native American Graves and Repatriation Act, or NAGPRA. As Tom Picard reports, the topic concerned what museums should do with Indian artifacts.
Because this was such a precedent-setting law.
This is National Indian Heritage Month, and one of the topics being discussed is the NAGPRA Act. On Tuesday in the Algoma Room, a discussion was held on whether Indian artifacts are to be kept in museums or returned back to the original tribes.
Well, NAGPRA is a federal law passed in, I believe, 89, requiring that by November of 1993, all museums in the country file a preliminary inventory of all sacred objects, objects of cultural patrimony, and unassociated funerary objects in their collections that are of Native American origin, and report those inventories to any Native group that is thought to be descendant of the ones responsible for those materials.
Although it was some students' first time at the NAGPRA meetings, they expressed what they learned tonight.
I learned a few new things about how the American government is trying to repay the Americans and try to give back some of the artifacts. So yes, I have gained some knowledge on Native Americans and what they're trying to do with their artifacts.
It was very informative on NAGPRA, and I feel Professor Bayman Prime gave a good talk and filled us in on some information that I didn't know already.
Although the debate is still an ongoing process, it's a step forward for people to get involved in their past heritage. Tom Picard, Titan TV News.
Native American Heritage Month will be sponsoring an Art of American Indian beading class at 10 o'clock a.m. next Tuesday in Swart Hall, room 17. Also, there will be an American Indian Student Association meeting at the Multicultural Education Center in room 202 on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Hurricane Mitch left many families homeless and in need of assistance. Jeff Grex is in the newsroom to share how the families of a recent UW-Oshkosh graduate may soon receive some help.
Thanks, BJ and Jeff. As many of us probably already know, the country of Honduras has recently been catastrophically damaged by Hurricane Mitch. Ron Andre, a UW-Oshkosh graduate, is from Honduras, and many of his friends and close family relatives have been devastated by the situation at hand. Now the Titan Volunteers are sponsoring a relief effort as a part of the university. Drop boxes will be located at the Dean's office and also the Reed Memorial Union starting today and ending December 1st. If you have any questions or comments, please call the Titan Volunteers office at 424-0740 or the Dean Student office at 424-3100. BJ and Jeff, back to you.
Well, all indications point to a very good harvest during this year's gun deer hunting season. Hunting opens Saturday and will run through November 29th, and state wildlife managers are predicting a kill of about 350,000 deer during the 9-day hunt. The mild winter we had last year has resulted in excellent fawn production and a better-than-average antler development. Many farmland units still have bonus permits available, and these bonus permits allow a hunter to take an additional antlerless deer for a nominal cost.
And the hunting season is just one of the many sports that will be taking place in the next week. Lori Kovaleski is in next to give us the highlights. Lori, what's new in the wonderful world of Titan athletics this week?
Well, it seems like the only time you hear about UW-Oshkosh students running, it's after a house party has been busted. Well, our men's and women's cross-country runners prove UW-Oshkosh students can run for other good reasons. The two teams competed in the WIAC Regional Championships in St. Louis last weekend. The Lady Titans captured their 12th regional title in 13 years, while the men placed 4th. Both teams qualified for the NCAA Division III Championship that will be held in Carlisle, Pennsylvania on Saturday. Best of luck to both teams. The UW-Oshkosh men's and women's swimming and diving teams are off to fast starts. Both teams came out with victories over Whitewater last weekend and again Wednesday over Lawrence University. The women defeated Lawrence 142-81, with Emily Allen and Jennifer Broadley winning 3 races apiece. The men pulled out a win in the final race to defeat Lawrence 113-108. The two teams are 4-0 on the season, with the WIAC relay meet coming Saturday in Whitewater. Every athlete runs the risk of injury when involved at the competitive collegiate level. Titan TV's Debbie Nelson spoke with a key individual in getting injured athletes back on the right track.
You need only to look at the walls of Kolff Sports Center to see the lengthy success of UW-Oshkosh athletics. But what happens when these talented athletes become injured? Meet Jeff Chambers, UW-Oshkosh head athletic trainer. He and his staff of 1 assistant and 20 student trainers dedicate their time to the care of over 650 student athletes.
I'm responsible for the care, basically the health care and medical care for all our student athletes with regards to their injuries and illnesses. So the biggest thing that I try to do is find out what's wrong, let them know exactly what it is that they have wrong, what the steps we are going to take to get them better. I really wanted to be around athletics, and I wanted to try to have a positive influence on student athletes of this age group. I guess the reason I'm here is because of the student athlete, and I enjoy working with them.
Well, I sliced the back of my leg. I was able just to go through training and therapy, and with the great trainers we have here, they help me all the way through. And the trainers here are real good. They work on not only your physical rehabilitation, but your mental one. They're always in a good mood in the training room. Everything they do is around you. You get a personalized skit on what you're supposed to go through as far as stretching and lifting, and therapy-wise, it's like ultrasounds and the heat packs and stuff like that. So they're really good at personalizing everything, so you feel like it's more of a one-on-one atmosphere, even though there's 600-some athletes here and only 40-some trainers possibly.
There is a lot of the mental and psychological aspect that you have to deal with an injured student athlete, because they go through the normal things that most people go through in a loss. You know, they've worked so hard to get to where they're at, and when they find out that they can't play, you know, there is some depression. There's some anger, there's some denial, that goes with it, but it's nothing that you can't come back from and return to participation. They're probably going to get sick of me sooner than I'm going to get sick of them. And there are times, where they just do not. They're like, I do not want to go there. I'm tired of this. And I really strongly encourage them at that point in time. I know what you're going through. It will all pay off in the end.
The relationship between student athletes and trainers is reflected through UWO's continued success. But without supporting funds to update present facilities, the continuation of quality care for over 600 student athletes could suffer. Deb Nelson, Titan TV Sports.
Wisconsin Badger offensive lineman Pat Daly might have to go see his trainer, but not for injuries sustained during a game. Daly told police that tailback Ron Dane punched him in a locker room scuffle on November 5th. Athletic department officials say Daly underwent surgery last week at University Hospital for a broken bone around his left eye. Police reports say Daly threw one of Dane's shoes into a garbage can where players spit chewing tobacco. Coach Barry Alvarez has put the two players on team probation, which will not affect their playing status for Saturday's game against Penn State. A quick volleyball note. Be sure to check out the men's team this weekend as they take on UW-Milwaukee, Minnesota, and Iowa at Kolff Sports Center. And don't forget, it's free.
Patrick Moore is next to tell us about the weekend weather. Stay with us.
Patrick Moore joins us now with weather. Patrick, I woke up this morning and I saw snowflakes. What's up with that?
Yes, that is true. You're not seeing anything that's strange, and you can see in the background there is some snow that fell this morning, but nothing with too major amounts. We still don't have cold enough temperatures to really pile up any snow, but actually there's going to be a warming trend. We'll get to that later in the forecast. First, let's look at conditions outside here in Oshkosh. 31 degrees. We did have some light snow for most of the morning. There used to be some chances of light snow falling throughout the afternoon, but we have a northwest wind at about 13 miles an hour. That makes the wind chill, of course, much cooler. 81% humidity, and the pressure is steady at 29.9 inches. Excuse me, 9.8 inches. Let's go to look at the almanac now. 34 degrees we should have for a high today. We'll reach that probably within the next few hours. Low temperature of 22, and as you see, we're actually below the normal. Record high of 62 and a record low of 6 degrees. Elsewhere around the United States, it is pretty much cool all the way throughout the Dakotas. 24 in Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's kind of cooler, about 53 degrees. That's actually a below temperature for Los Angeles, California. 78 degrees down in Miami, Florida, and 66 in New Orleans. As far as low temperatures across the United States, well, actually 20s coming out from the Rockies, expanding its way all the way into Wisconsin and into Canada. 30s is more the south, and things begin to warm up, of course, as you head to the south. High temperatures, we should see, of course, 30s. We have 40s throughout Illinois. They've actually got some heavy rains going into Kentucky, heading out to West Virginia, but otherwise 70s and 80s. I have to say Miami, Florida, at least once. I love that place. It's going to be warm down there today. I wish I could be there. Anyways, conditions for the next few days. Everybody loves to laugh at home, of course, when I mention Miami. So cold and decent temperatures, nothing too tremendously below normal, but as you'll see, this will push its way out to the east. Some of the snow will be heading out to the northeast this weekend, and we'll just get pretty much, the sun is going to be peeking its way into later Sunday and especially into Monday, and that's going to warm things up. But as for right now, let's look and see where we are in the satellite to see where some of that precipitation is. You can barely see the clouds. That's because of the light snow. It almost doesn't even come up on our satellite image. And as you see, this is the warmer weather that'll be pushing its way in. Let's look at the radar, and you will see some of that snow now. Here it is, especially in the UP. They got maybe up to an inch of snow this morning, but nothing too major that they have to worry about taking the plows out just yet. And as you see, some traces throughout Oshkosh here in the middle part of Wisconsin. Let's get back to what we can expect for today. Again, some light rain or even might be mixed to snow. It's about 34 degrees for your afternoon forecast tonight. It'll cool down. We'll have a temperature of about 25 degrees and a good chance again for also light rain into tonight. And let's go look at that 5-day forecast as my clicker is about one behind. There is the 5-day look. Tomorrow it'll be about 41 degrees, 30 for a low, I would say. Sunday, 47 degrees as it really starts to warm up. I know BJ is smiling at this point because he was getting afraid of that snow like he mentioned before, but Monday the sun will come back out, maybe a chance of light rain. Tuesday, 49 degrees, really incredible as we head towards Thanksgiving. It actually might be a warm turkey day, gentlemen.
Sounds good. You know, I like snow, I like skiing, but I have to drive in it, so I want some
Exactly.
warm. We got, don't go anywhere, we got more Goo Goo Dolls coming for you. We'll be right back.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeff Levicka. For BJ Lutz, Lori Kovaleski, Patrick Moore, and the rest of the Titan TV News crew, have a happy Thanksgiving. We leave you with the Goo Goo Dolls.